100% proof of Fiserv with Ripple and Quant. This is massive news. Consider smashing that like. You're definitely going to want to hear about the key findings in the material with the receipts. So if you don't want to miss a thing, consider sticking to the end of this outline, because you may miss it and you may not understand why this is such a big deal and breaking news, to say the least.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I have many friends that are earning every single day trading futures on BTCC. It's a simple process, and even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you could follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you. And again, I'm not trying to have any of you guys use your hard-earned money to lose anything. You don't know what you're doing? Don't jump into this, but there is money to be made, and don't use your nest egg for leverage trading. Use a separate portfolio. But I suggest learn how to trade. Earn you some extra money on BTCC. It's easy. You don't have to KYC, and you don't have to use a virtual private network VPN. This is a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn that extra money, you can store that on your Decent wallet. The Decent wallet was not affected by the XRPL debacle, where the backdoor of many wallets was open and there was a breach. So Decent wallet was not affected by that. Decent wallet is as safe as you keep your seed phrase. It's a wonderful product, and you can get the discount by using the link. It's the only way to get the affiliate discount, and that is to use an affiliate link. So that link is popping up on the upper right side of your screen, and it is the one that you will use. You will also get free shipping. Pick you up a Decent wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet and sitting on an exchange, then you're at risk. So pick you one up today. Thank you. Just in case you're a newcomer, Fiserv, who in the world are they? Well, they are a global fintech and payments company with solutions for banking, global commerce, merchant acquiring, billing, payments, point of sale, right? Some of you guys are aware of them. Now, before I get more into the details of who they are, let's establish this first. Let's start off with Quant. Go to Pipedream. Yes, Pipedream. They have integration of Fiserv with the Overledger. This is a massive finding because so many people felt as though they have nothing to do with Quant. As you see here, prompt, edit, deploy AI agents that connect to Fiserv, Overledger, and 2,800 plus other apps in seconds. And as you see here, all the popular triggers, all the popular Overledger actions, and more importantly, the integration with it all. This is so big to see that you can create these smart contracts and so on. As we do more of establishing who in the world Fiserv is, I want to point out that they have a robust history. As you see here as well, they are an American multinational financial technology headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And more importantly, back in 2015, they were ranked third by revenue among technology providers to U.S. banks by American Banker and BAI. 2019, the company reported total revenue at $10.187 billion. And additionally, Fiserv owns First Data. And this other thing I want to point out is 2 million ATMs via the START network. Okay. Also, Fiserv holds the naming rights for Fiserv Forum Arena in Milwaukee. We know that that was one of the main conferences for the 2024 presidential election. And again, the adoption of, for example, getting into crypto and accepting or realizing, hey, we need to get into all this and get more into the whole idea of embracing technologies, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, you name it. How do we reach across party lines? Robust history. Back in the 80s, Fiserv was founded in 1984. Within 2 years, it was listed on NASDAQ. Now watch this. Even with NASDAQ, Quant's Overledger. What do you want to automate with the Overledger? Well, NASDAQ data link, time series, time data. Again, smart contracts. Everything that we've talked about before numerous times about how it all comes together, you see it all here. This is such a major big deal to share with you all. Jumping back to why this is all important, you see here that they had what's referred to as multiple products from Fiserv. So first thing I want to jump into a little bit more is the multiple products under the Fiserv umbrella. Emphasis will be on what you're going to see here. Starting off with Clover. As you see here, it mentions Clover. Who's Clover? Well, they're a small business to accept payments at point of sale as well as track sales. Okay. Here's a great example of orchestration. Overledger. Prepare a basic token deployment. Look what it also mentions. Kicking over to Clover point of sale to create that customer. Now watch this when we jump back. When we jump back, you see here, there's some other ones being mentioned. There's this thing called Pinch Payments. It's a payments facilitator providing embedded card processing and direct debit to software as a service and to small business via proprietary software as a service that integrates with Xero, QuickBooks, and this other one called MYOB. Now, for the purposes of this video, we're only going to do Xero, QuickBooks, and not MYOB. Jump back over to the make.com integration. This is 0 lines of code. So unlike PipeDream, that has, I think, 3 lines of code for the developers, this is a sandbox, if you will, that will allow you to just have a template to immediately make all this integration with 0 lines of code. Yes, Quant's Overledger. Prepare a basic token deployment transaction. Kicking over the Clover POS, point of sale, create customer. And remember how we mentioned Xero? Again, these are ones underneath Fiserv's umbrella of products. This solidifies Fiserv. People do not realize how huge of a deal this is. And also, jumping back, just in case we forgot about QuickBooks, there's QuickBooks. And jumping back to, for example, make.com orchestration, we do see update and invoice. Again, Intuit QuickBooks. All right. You will see, of course, a outline with Rue Black where we expand about this even with Zebek. All right, let's jump back to a little bit more of the findings and why it's such a big deal. Well, when we get into it, you will see another key company that is called basically Shift4. Now, you may be wondering, I don't understand all that, okay? Well, keep in mind, Shift4 had a litigation. And like it says here, Fiserv, litigation with Shift4. Following its 2019 acquisition of First Data, Fiserv inherited a significant legal dispute between subsidiary Card Connect and rival payments company Shift4. The lawsuit included allegations of breach of contract that lasted several years. The case was ultimately settled in late 2022 after direct agreement was reached between Fiserv CEO Frank Bisignano and Shift4 CEO Jared Isaacman. The terms of the settlement remain confidential. All right. Again, why is this so big? Because it was the largest acquisition at the time. First Data Corporation 2019 for $22 billion. Total acquisitions over 24 companies. Again, you see in 1991 Citicorp. We know that Citi orchestrated what? The Regulated Liability Network. Again, Tony McLaughlin was one of the key participants. Okay? So again, you got to go far back. You got to realize why all this is important. Where it all started and where we're at now and where we're going. Okay? So I take you into a little bit more of specifically Shift4. Now look what opens up. Shift4 is an American payment processing company based in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Company founded in 1999 by, at the time, 16-year-old Jared Isaacman. Processes payments over for 200,000 businesses in retail, hospitality, and leisure. Got restaurants, you name it, okay? So that's important. It's also traded on S&P 400, and of course, they even have ties to the United Kingdom, not just the United States, Canada, Europe, and so on. Operating income, $247 million, revenue, $3.33 billion. Okay, that's interesting. Watch this. Again, more Fiserv connections. What do you want to automate with Overledger and Shift4? Again, another example of Fiserv and Quant Network. And again, all the smart contract functionality, integrations, and so on. These discoveries are so massive if you understand the bigger picture when it comes to Q&T. And again, wow, even though people are complaining about the flash crash, I know I hit my quant goals. Did you? How about this? Getting more into the topic and why it all matters. Was there any recent announcements of specifically Fiserv with anything at all? Stablecoins, XRP, you name it. Well, about a week ago, Bank of North Dakota has some announcements. It's called RoughRider Stablecoin. And shout out to, obviously, Teddy Roosevelt many years ago, right? But not just DMX. Yes, I know. Some of you guys are DMX fans. DMX too. But nonetheless, we see some key things here. I think this is so important to share this with you. Bank of North Dakota and its core banking services provider, Fiserv, have partnered to develop state's very own stablecoin named the RoughRider. Now watch this. If we go over to specifically Fiserv with paymentsdive.com, it says Fiserv launched that RoughRider stablecoin. Processor is working with a North Dakota state-owned bank to establish a new digital asset. Published October 9th. Some of you hardcore fanatics that are all over X, you already know about some of this, but it's still very, very new. And here is what is so crucial to share with you. Number one, it's the terminology that has been established in the framework, the slogans. How many times have we heard Quant Network talk about that they are future-proof? Watch this. Search result. 1 of 1. Look what it says here. This centralized structure makes an ideal low-complexity environment to test the plumbing of a new digital asset platform. Gee, I wonder what that could be. The Quant Overledger is a blockchain operating system if you're new to this channel, particularly under the regulatory clarity of state-issued stablecoin exemption. This guy Kraus wrote, they can work out all the technical, legal, and operational kinks without the overwhelming compliance risk of deploying in a huge fragmented market like New York or California. And look what it says here. It's literally telling you that it's Quant without saying Quant. Shout out to Channing. Give him a follow. We're at King Channing. Call to action. You want QNT coverage just about every day? He is your go-to platform. This work also helps to, quote, future-proof Fiserv's core business in terms of demonstrating that the RoughRider, yes, RoughRiders, stop, drop, open up shop, baby, because that's what Quant Network is doing. And FIUSD coin, Fiserv's platform, supports the, quote, next generation of money movement. He said that next generation of money movement requires programmable money. And who better to serve that than the Quant Network, the foundation for building on blockchain, the foundation for digital finance. Think about it. If they can prove that a digital asset can dramatically improve the liquidity and speed of interbank settlement for the North Dakota banks community partners, that model can be seamlessly scaled to thousands of other client institutions who use Fiserv's existing core infrastructure. What role would Quant play with this? Quant will play a role with multi-dApps, the MDApps. Then we connect to something like Ripple with XRP for the Internet of Value to transact that value. All right, a little bit more about this, just in case you're like, well, I'm new. Did Quant ever mention anything about future proof? They do. Boil it, mash it, stick it in its stew. Quant.network/principles. We do this. Everything we do is designed to make blockchain simple, trusted, and future proof. They even have commercials about that. Absolutely. And more importantly, let's check out bnd.nd.gov/RoughRider. Yes, stop, drop, open up shop in Bank of North Dakota. RoughRider stablecoin, and like you see here, core banking services provider is Fiserv. That is so crucial. The value of stablecoin is directly tied to real assets such as the US dollar. So now we're starting to see states do this. And I'm aware of some of these things you guys have mentioned, like, hey, Max, I want you to cover what's going on with Yorktown. I will get to that, but I want to at least share this with you because nobody, for the most part, is really going in depth about this. And I got to get it out there, okay? With the recent passage and signing of the Genius Act, Congress established a framework for payment stablecoins by requiring that they be backed with high-quality assets, mandated. Look at that, mandated disclosures and audits. Don't ever forget about the ISO 222 mandate, worldwide mandate, November 22nd, 2025, because that is so, so major. And when you do understand that, you will come to the conclusion that we will always reference who? Our brothers in the space. The people that have put in the hard work, who have shared the information about why this is so important. So let's get into it for a brief moment. Smoke points out, when I was in YouTube jail, that 1 week, by the way, absolutely ridiculous, but it is what it is. At this time, which was, October 14th, Smoke points out, give him a follow at SMQKEDQG, Standard Chartered Podcast confirmed that November 2025 ISO 222 deadline is final. Once the deadline moves, people think it's going to happen again. The deadline is November, and it's not moving. It is hard fixed date. Listen closely. We're going to play this. This is basically a minute and 6 seconds, and we'll jump right back. Here we go.
That harmonization. But I think there's definitely some learnings from that time. One, originally around, I guess, the deadline moved. And with that, it was very difficult working with clients to get them to move to the new standard. As soon as a deadline moves once, people think it's going to move again. And I know we've heard that also on CBPR Plus. No, the deadline in November is not moving. It is a hard fixed date. Unless somebody knows something I don't know. But it did move originally, and actually clients really struggled to get to that deadline. It meant a lot of change for them in their systems, not something that could just be done by flicking a switch in a 6-month period. So I think the key learning for us, and particularly as we move to getting our corporates moving onto the ISO standard post-November, client engagement is really crucial, understanding the time frame that it takes for them to change their systems and working with them around specifications and testing with them to make sure that it really works end to end for them.
All right, welcome back. So as you see here, they're not going to keep kicking the can down the road. All right, no, they're not going to keep doing that. That is so major. And of course, major confirmation directly from Swift, no more delays. Again, no more delays. So glad to share this as well. And again, this assertion, okay, that organizations are set to migrate to the ISO 222 CBPR Plus standard by November 2025. That is absolutely major, so major. All right, What we're going to do now is we're going to kick it to this video. Why do you want to see this? The reason why you want to see this is because this is RoughRider stablecoin announcement, right? This is basically the main big head honcho over at BND, Bank of North Dakota, talking about this. I've fast forwarded to this key area. We're going to play why this is so important, and then we'll be right back.
Recently, Congress passed the Genius Act, signed by President Trump, establishing the framework for payment stablecoins by requiring they be backed with high-quality assets, mandated disclosures and audits, ensures reserve transparency, and creates rules for permitted issuers. A true threshold moment. Passage of this act now establishes stablecoins as a part of the financial system. A stablecoin is a type of digital currency designed to maintain a stable value by being pegged or tied to another asset, in this case, the US dollar. Unlike cryptocurrencies, known for their extreme price volatility, stablecoins are able to offer the benefits of blockchain technology, speed, efficiency, and accessibility, while providing the stability of traditional financial assets. For 106 years, Bank of North Dakota has supported our state's financial institutions. As financial technology rapidly evolves, this support is more important than ever. We are pleased to announce Bank of North Dakota's partnership with a premier core provider of banking technology services, Fiserv, to build and deliver the beta transaction framework to support North Dakota's very own RoughRider coin. Delivered by Bank of North Dakota to help our local financial institutions navigate this new financial frontier, the RoughRider coin beta framework has the potential to evolve the way institutions move money, allow our banks and credit unions to offer new and creative financial products to their customers, and prepare the industry for the long-term possibility for broader merchant adoption of stablecoin transactions. The name RoughRider was selected as a salute to Theodore Roosevelt, who attributed his rise to president to time spent in North Dakota, and will be honored in the summer of 2026 with the grand opening of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library in Medora. The RoughRiders were Roosevelt's volunteer militia during the Spanish-American War. A differentiator to other recent announcements since the Genius Act passed, the RoughRider coin beta framework will be built in coordination with and for financial institutions rather than directly with end-user merchants. Involving North Dakota banks and credit unions emphasizes stability, credibility, and safety in this dynamically changing environment. For our North Dakota citizens, this is yet another step that North Dakota banks and credit unions are taking to deliver financial products and services where you want them, in the palm of your hand.
All right, welcome back. So, again, why point out all this stuff? Well, do we have other examples that are important? Well, there is more. There is this company, they're called Mercury. How do we connect things like XRP? Quant has, obviously, integration with Mercury. Shout out to Rue Black, we discovered this on accident. Well, here's what's important. If you go to mercury.com/pricing, or just mercury.com, you do see here that they have solutions. And more importantly, like it says here, crypto solutions. Interesting. When we pull that up, banking loved by crypto companies, run all your fiat operations out of one streamlined account. Okay, that's interesting. And notice how it says Mercury is not a financial, or is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided through Choice Financial Group, Column North America, Evolve Bank and Trust, members of FDIC. All right. What about the whole thing of, for example, software as a service? This gets extremely interesting. We pull this up. It says enhance your stack with best-in-class tools. Tee up handy integrations to sync Mercury with your favorite apps. And boom, more confirmation of what we already know. Boil it, mash it, stick it in stew, including Xero, QuickBooks, and Zapier. Get more, or I should say, plus get additional deals on platforms like Amazon Web Services and Slack. And what do we see on the right? We see Xero for accounting. We even see Zapier for those automations. That is so big. Watch this. Because again, sometimes you may very well miss it. Did you see where it said Slack? I think you did at one point. We did share the whole thing of why point out Slack? Yeah, right here, right? Slack. Here's why we point out Slack. Back in August 10th, 2021, the SEC wanted terabytes of Slack communications from Ripple. The SEC said at that time that the previous production of Slack messages from Ripple was incomplete and a massive quantity of data had not been collected. Remember I mentioned Zapier? Again, another quant Overledger platform with 0 lines of code. Connect Overledger and Slack to power AI-driven automation. You see that right there. Okay? Again, choose a trigger with Overledger. When this happens, automatically do this with Slack. Okay. I get where you're coming from, Maximus. Well, just to solidify it even more, with the whole thing with Mercury to use Ripple's on-demand liquidity, the ODL, to speed up remittances between Johannesburg and London. Okay, and they reported that back in March of 2021. I'm telling you guys, it's understanding why we connect the dots on all this stuff. And last but not least, just in case you're thinking there's nothing new going with QNT, the institutions and Coinbase and all the big money players, they're not doing anything. Nothing's moving around. Are you sure about that? Where are you getting your research? Who is flooding you out of QNT? Shout out again to our brother in space, Sebastian. Can be followed over at Cebus P494-74734. He reported just a few minutes ago about 15,000 tokens just left Coinbase to QNT only wallets. Again, QNT only wallets. Preparations are in full swing. And just in case you think 15,000 QNT tokens isn't much, keep in mind, there's only about 14.5 million tokens to begin with. Preparations are in full swing, I agree. Patience is all we need now. And here's the examples. In the examples, you see Coinbase hot wallet listed there, roughly about $85,000 worth of QNT. We have another example here, $102,000 worth of QNT. Again, Coinbase hot wallet. And you also see here, $304,000 worth of QNT to this particular Coinbase hot wallet. And last but not least, $810,000 worth of QNT to this specific Coinbase hot wallet. Why? Why is that? And why is there no pairing with anything else? It's because they are preparing for, in my opinion, ISO 222 mandate. Institutions already realize the flip of the switch is going to be coming soon. And it's a case of blank or get off the pot. So there is the update for you guys. Thought I would bring it to you. A lot to get into in regard to, obviously, 100% proof of Fiserv with Ripple and Quant. But let's face it, a lot of the emphasis obviously was on Quant. Hey, do me a solid. If you listen to the entire outline and simply type in this key phrase into the comments, and that is no more YouTube jail for Max, or you could abbreviate. Because yes, I was in YouTube jail for 1 week. What is up with that? Not cool. Not cool, but I'm going to do my best to not get any more of these strikes. So, glad to be back, because I know some of you guys were wondering, why have you been gone for another week? That's what happened. And if you really, really want to help me, give me a follow on my Patreon, because guess what? I have to have a backup plan. Because if, for whatever reason, I do eventually get banned from YouTube, which would be horrible, I hope it never happens, I have to have other platforms to be able to share the news, the research, and so on. So, again, X, just in case if you've never seen the thing on X, follow me over at DPG Maximus on X, okay? And also, follow me on the Patreon. Links are in the description below, and it just simply helps, because if I was just all YouTube, I don't know what would happen, you know? And I hope that I can continue this journey on YouTube, because let's face it, there was an old channel a while back, and I had to start all over from scratch. I don't want to do it a second time. That would be that wouldn't be cool at all. So again, if that's your thing, you want to see like exclusive content or some other collaborations I do with Root Black, shout out to Rob over at Crypto Future 99, people like that, come join us on the Patreon. It's one appreciated, and it's allows us to speak a lot more free without being put in YouTube jail. So saying goes, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps flood 110%. May the Lord Jesus bless you all. I truly mean it. We'll see you. Yes, you, even the guy listening who's driving down the street. See you on the next one. Over and out. Bye-bye.